Hello and welcome to Science Monitor, your favorite program that keeps you updated on all the latest in the field of science and technology in India and across the world. Well, apart from our focus on ISRO's big feat, we will find out answers to some of the fascinating questions like how can bacteria propel an engine and what happens when we sleep? Well, all that coming up in today's episode. But first, let's take a look at the headlines. ISRO creates world record, launches 104 satellites in one go. 7th National Film Festival organized in Kolkata. A new turn in biomechanics, microscopic heat engine. CCMB's present to farmers, novel pest-resistant rice. And in our In Focus segment today, we will discuss about sleep and how sleep is an indicator of our health. 2017 is already proving to be exciting in terms of space science. In its most ambitious project ever, ISRO has set a world record by launching 104 satellites in a single mission. Well, the launch, which took place on 15th of February from Sriharikota aboard PSLV C-37, includes 3 Indian satellites along with the satellites from the US, Germany, Israel, Kazakhstan, the Netherlands, Switzerland and the UAE. A launch of this scale has never ever been attempted before anywhere in the world.
1, 0, and 1.
It is evident that ISRO has planned more incredible feats for this year.
For this mission, the mission is successfully accomplished, ejecting all the 6 satellites.
Yes, following the recent announcement of ISRO's ambitious plan, the team has done it. ISRO has caught the world by the storm with the successful launch of 104 satellites in one go.
8, 9, less than seconds.
The launch took place on 15th February at 9:28 am aboard ISRO's workhorse rocket PSLV C-37 from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota.
Also are separated. Now the first stage is functioning on its own.
Of the 104 satellites, 100 are micro-small satellites and 1 nano-satellite from abroad and includes satellites from US, Germany, Israel, Kazakhstan, Netherlands, Switzerland and the United Arab Emirates.
So it's not whether we are crossing somebody else what they have put or what we have put as a record. It's primarily about improving our capability to maximize our returns.
The 3 Indian satellites include INS-1A and 1B along with satellite in Cartosat-2 series. While with this feat, India has broken the world record in space history as no exercise on this scale has been attempted before and has grabbed the largest slice of the lucrative commercial space market. Earlier, Russian Space Agency had launched 37 satellites in one go. But more than publicity, according to the team, the ambitious project is aimed at cutting down the costs. As more the number of satellites launched in one mission, lesser the cost incurred. According to the researchers, such mass launches benefits the user and is technologically a better choice. Following the successful launch, the ISRO team is now working towards the launch of ISRO's South Asian Satellite project, previously known as the SARC satellite, this March. It is clear that while 2016 has been hailed as a golden year in the history of ISRO and Indian space science, we can definitely look forward to a more action-packed year.
Disseminating the wonders of science through visual media, the 7th National Science Film Festival was recently organized in Kolkata. Well, the event is celebrated as one of the largest science film festivals, saw the screening of about 70 shortlisted films, attracting science writers, filmmakers and film enthusiasts across the country. The film festival is jointly organized by Vigyan Prasar and the National Council of Science Museums every year.
With the evolution of visual media, science dissemination has achieved a new dimension. Today, complex scientific concepts can be easily conveyed using advanced visual techniques to propagate scientific temper. Along these lines, it is that time of the year which is looked forward to by science communicators and filmmakers around the world. Yes, the much-awaited 7th National Science Film Festival was conducted at Birla Industrial and Technological Museum, Kolkata during 14th to 18th February. The film festival was jointly organized by Vigyan Prasar and National Council of Science Museums.
मुझे लगता है कि एक ऐसा सेलिब्रेशन है जिसमें जानकारी है, साइंस है, अवेयरनेस है, एंटरटेनमेंट है। तो उस तरह से उस लिहाज से अपने आप में एक सफल कार्यक्रम है जिसमें कंट्रीब्यूशन सभी का है। इसमें साइंटिस्ट भी है, साइंस फिल्म मेकर भी है, रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स भी हैं, जर्नलिस्ट भी हैं, साइंस कम्युनिकेटर्स भी हैं, फिल्म मेकर्स भी हैं और साइंस फिल्म मेकर्स भी हैं, स्टूडेंट्स भी हैं, टीचर्स भी हैं। तो समाज के हर तबके को हमने जोड़ा है और कोशिश की है कि लोग एक दूसरे को सुनें, एक दूसरे से समझें और एक बेहतर फिल्म बनाएं।
While the Governor of West Bengal, Shri Keshari Nath Tripathi, inaugurated the event, renowned filmmaker Shri Gautam Ghosh addressed the audience.
They have created new technology, new ideas.
The inauguration session also saw the release of 7th National Science Film Festival 2017 commemorative book by the Honorable Governor. The 5-day event saw the screening of 70 shortlisted films under various categories, which includes science films made by organizations, individual filmmakers, along with college and school students. An eminent jury chaired by renowned science communicator Professor Partha Ghosh shortlisted the screen films for the awards.
By the fact that the filmmaker.
Besides screening of the movies, the event saw various workshops, interactive sessions and panel discussions on creative methods of science communication and science films. The film festival, as expected, saw a large-scale participation of prominent science writers, filmmakers and film enthusiasts from across the country.
Cells that make up living bodies are the most efficient machineries in the world. Now, these microscopic machineries have been used to power engines. Yes, the researchers at IISc Bengaluru have developed a unique microscopic heat engine which is powered by the activities of bacteria, in contrast to the conventional engines that run on fuel. Well, the research has been published in the prestigious journal Nature. What is this invention all about? Let us see in this report.
Most of the technologies we see around us today in some way imitate the microscopic process that sustained life. In this sense, cells, the tiny fundamental units of life, are indeed elaborate machineries. Following cellular processes, the researchers of Indian Institute of Science and the Jawaharlal Nehru Centre for Advanced Scientific Research achieved a major breakthrough. The discovery is called the microscopic heat engine, and as the name suggests, relays on changes in the activities of microscopic bacteria to function. The microscopic engine has been developed under the leadership of Professor Ajay K. Sood by his scholars Subho Ghosh and Sudesh Krishnamurthy. In a conventional engine, the piston moves back and forth based on very high temperature differences generated by fuel combustion. Along the same lines, the microscopic heat engine relies on very small changes in temperature input to impact bacterial activity, which in turn affects the activity of a colloidal particle and powers the engine.
We have shown that if you have a bath with bacteria, when the bacteria are more active or less active, out of these two states, we can get work done. It's a Stirling engine. It's perfectly the same engine which works in automobiles and locomotives, but using one particle. And the work is being done by bacteria which make this particle more or less active.
The tiny heat engine uses a very tiny colloidal particle which is optically trapped using a laser beam in water bath that contains soil-dwelling bacteria, Bacillus licheniformis. When the temperature of the bath is increased to 40 degrees Celsius, the bacteria tend to move around vigorously, which in turn influences the colloidal particle. The displacement of the colloidal particle powers the engine. The change in temperature, which is carried out every 4 seconds, leads to changes in bacterial activity and hence the work done by the engine. According to the team, the tiny heat engine has 50 to 60% efficiency and has outperformed a conventional engine. The researchers plans to connect the microscopic heat engine to some nano device or electromechanical device. The research has been published in the journal Nature Physics.
Pests are a major threat to crops. Well, farmers lose a large part of their crops annually to pests. In this scenario, the novel pest-resistant variety of rice developed by the researchers of Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology may be a savior. The variety is designed to keep a pest infection at bay. Well, the novel variety, after testing for its quality, is to be distributed among farmers.
Rice is one of the most major food crops of the country, and a large population of farmers depend on rice crop for their livelihoods. At the same time, rice crop during all stages are susceptible to a variety of pests which can affect any part of the plant. Every year, farmers face a considerable amount of crop loss due to pests. But bringing a ray of hope to these farmers is the new bacterial blight-resistant Samba Masuri rice variety developed by a team of Indian researchers. The bacterial blight-resistant Samba Masuri rice has been developed by the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, is being undertaken by the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology along with the Directorate of Rice Research and Agri-Biotech Foundation.
We have used a wild variety of rice which is resistant to a disease which causes major problem in several states in the rice, in the variety called Samba Masuri. And we have brought the disease-resistant genetic component of the rice by breeding program, which is accelerated by a technique called marker-assisted breeding, which CCMB developed the technology in collaboration with the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. And this variety is now so popular that now is grown in some 6 different states.
We are working on a very elite rice variety called improved Samba Masuri. This is in collaboration with Indian Institute of Rice Research, Rajendra Nagar. We have together developed a bacterial blight resistant disease variety which is a fine grain, and it is a very popular rice variety in and around Andhra Pradesh.
CCMB has taken the initiative of distributing the seeds of the newly developed bacterial blight-resistant Samba Masuri rice to farmers. Further, sources have confirmed that farmers can use the resulting crops to acquire more seed-resistant crops for the next season, and there is no need to buy the seeds again.
Well, a very quick break in here. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Let us now have a look at some important science and technology activities happening in India and abroad in Science Express.
Taking another step towards more inclusive science, the Union Minister for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Harshvardhan, recently released the special edition of Atlas for Visually Impaired India in English Braille.
एटलस भी एक बहुत बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाएगी। इस एटलस को बनाने के लिए हमारे वैज्ञानिकों ने बहुत वर्षों तक निरंतर काम किया है और आने वाले समय में इसी तरह की और कई एटलसेस विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड बच्चों के लिए बनाने का हमारा लक्ष्य है और उस पर हमारे वैज्ञानिकों ने काम करना भी प्रारंभ कर दिया है।
The Braille Atlas has been prepared by National Atlas and Thematic Mapping Organization and is planned to be distributed to various schools across the country for educating the students with visual challenges. The Braille maps are raised and embossed with simple lines and point symbols to help visually challenged students.
We feel very encouraged that the mainstream institutions of the government are now becoming more inclusive. First of all, they have thought about the population which has some or the other disability. That itself indicates that as a society we are changing. Atlas is one such initiative which will create an appropriate environment for learning geography by our students.
मैं कह सकता हूँ कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा यूजफुल है और आगे भविष्य में बहुत सारे दृष्टिहीन विद्यार्थियों के द्वारा प्रयोग में आएगा और उनके लिए लाभदायक भी होगा। इन एटलस का सारे स्कूल्स तक पहुँचना और इनका उचित प्रयोग होने से ही ये सभी के लिए लाभदायक हो सकता है।
About 20 maps on different themes of physical, socio-economic and cultural aspects are part of the Atlas. India, with the aim of promoting internal military development and curbing military supply imports, has announced the creation of a Defence Innovation Fund. The fund aims to promote startups and enable in the defence sector. The fund has been started with an initial contribution from Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and Bharat Electronics Limited. What could be more attractive to a science enthusiast than a live view of dinosaur fossil? Yes, Mexico's Desert Museum has unveiled the remains of a new local dinosaur species that is native to the country's northern desert region. The new species is called Yehue Corceritops and belongs to the genus of the horned Centrosaurine ceratopsid dinosaur. The remains were found in the Ocampo region of Coahuila state in 2007. With the objective of promoting healthy lifestyle, the annual Little Heart Marathon was recently organized in Mumbai. The marathon, which saw the participation of thousands of children and their parents, was organized by Vadia Hospital in association with the Siddhi Vinayak Temple. This marathon is organized annually in the month of February to promote healthy diet and physical activity amongst the new generation, which is leading a sedentary lifestyle.
Sleep, perhaps the unavoidable aspect of survival along with air, food and water. Research clearly indicates that a daily sleep of 7 to 8 hours is crucial for good health. While sleep deprivation can be a serious cause of health-related problems, so can be oversleep. Well, researchers link oversleep to many disorders like depression, diabetes and heart diseases. Well, sleep is a complex science in itself. We will explore the fascinating physiology of sleep and its effect on our health in our segment In Focus.
(1980s). A University of Chicago researcher named Alan Rechtschaffen was curious about the phenomenon of sleep. While lack of air, food and water can kill, can lack of sleep too? He conducted a series of gross but crucial experiments on a group of rats, and it was seen that after 32 days of total sleep deprivation, all the rats were dead. While many researchers still do not agree on the cause of death, it is more or less accepted that prolonged sleep deprivation can actually kill. Thus is the importance of sleep in living systems. Scientifically, sleep is defined as a naturally recurring state of mind and body which is characterized by altered consciousness, relatively inhibited sensory activity, inhibition of nearly all voluntary muscles, and reduced interactions with surroundings. The state of sleep is distinguished from being awake by a decreased ability to react to external stimuli. Well, how is it that we start feeling sleepy at a particular time in night? Why do we yawn? What are jet lags? These are some very fascinating questions about sleep. According to researchers, there are many variables and processes involving sleep, most important being the biological clocks or the circadian rhythms. The human brains have circadian rhythms which takes cues from environment like light. The circadian rhythms are associated with many hormones and chemicals in the brain, which tend to make us sleepy. As a result, humans in general are programmed to be active during daytime and sleep at night. But circadian rhythms may vary from person to person, which is why morning people tend to wake up early and night owls go to bed late. The disturbance is these circadian rhythms when one travels from one time zone to the other is also what causes jet lags. And the yawning is a symptom of decreased oxygen supply to the brain and brain slowing down. According to neuroscientists, transition from wakefulness to sleep happens in stages. First is the letting go or wakeful phase when the brain shows activity gradually disengaging from the external world. Then the brain enters the transitional sleep stage or stage when it slows down, with intermittent activity followed by stage 2 or the state of the true non-rapid eye movement sleep when brain activity is the least. Next, we enter slow wave sleep, also known as deep sleep, or stage 3 and 4, and finally experience REM sleep, the stage when we dream. Sleep is perceived to be a crucial process because organisms conserve energy during sleep and the body restores its wear and tear during sleep. Now, we all would agree that with changing lifestyles, especially with the advent of smartphones and increased stress, our sleep patterns also have changed. Most of us are in the habit of staring into our phones late into night, many times in darkness. These habits are indicated to be one of the main reasons for rising cases of insomnia and many sleep-related disorders around the world. And lack of sleep directly leads to chronic fatigue, heart disorders, mental disorders like depression, and even death. Hence, 7 to 8 hours of sleep is considered a must for human adults.
that is all for this episode of Science Monitor. Do tell us how do you like our program. Our email ID is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in, or you can write into us at Vigyan Prasar, C24, Qutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. Well, that is it in today's program. We will be back next week with fresh news stories on science and technology. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha TV. Thanks for your time.